noticed that theme parks seem to be making a lot of budget cuts recently? I was about to say I'm not going to name names, but I'm literally about to name and shame and go into a lot of detail about one in particular, but it's probably not what you're thinking. It's none of the 5 closures at Blackpool, which I made a video about. It's not the Fandango, Whizzer Spinner, Betty's Bottom thing. It's not that. I'm actually going to dive into one of Alton Towers' most classic rides that you may not be even aware have been closed, which is the Skyride. Don't go. I know this might sound boring, but I have many theories as to why this actually may have been a really good thing for Alton Towers to keep closed. Was Alton Towers being inconsiderate to those with accessibility issues? Were they just prioritising their funding elsewhere? Or has shutting the Skyride actually brought a lot of good for the park? If you're confused, don't worry. I'm going to take you through it. Just quickly, if you've not joined the Discord, please do. We just talk about theme parks sometimes. So the iconic gondola Skyride at Alton Towers has been shut since 2022, which is a long time to keep something shut if you're intending on reopening it, I think. That's what? 23 years, I nearly said. 3 years.
2 years, I meant. 2 years.
It's had a multi-million-pound investment to get it reopened again, which, whoa, it's good news, and I am happy about that. And I'm sure you are too, because my legs just cannot take it anymore. I do think that there's been some benefits for both us and Alton Towers having the Skyride closed. And just a little PSA, I'm coming at this from a perspective of I don't have any accessibility issues, and I'm not ruling out people's experience with that. I can imagine that actually is generally a bad thing. But now I've got that out of the way. It's all about me again. Yeah, I think it's been a good idea. And here's why. I'll tell you once I've shut my cat up. In case you've been hearing a lot of crinkling in the background, this is what it is. Yeah, that's pretty gross. Let go. Oh, the first category is probably something you've already noticed. And for me, it's the most annoying one. Forced exercise. Yeah, forced exercise. So without the Skyride, visitors at Alton Towers, again, I'm not talking about people with accessibility issues. I'm just sort of talking about people who go on their feet or are capable of walking on their feet. Without Skyride, visitors naturally walk throughout the sprawling park. Here's some statistics for you. The average theme park visitor can walk between 5 to 10 miles in a single day. And if you're an enthusiast, like some of you watching, I know I've seen you run. 4:55 on a weekday, I've seen you run to the Smiler, because I was there. And this can burn approximately 500 to 1,000 calories. Whoa, that's a lot, isn't it? I know you don't care. I will get to some interesting points soon. This significant increase in physical activity provides excellent cardiovascular exercise, which does explain the incredible physique that we see a majority of the theme park enthusiasts have. I would say it's actually something that we're quite famous for. This in turn releases a lot of endorphins. I don't know a lot about physical science. I still don't believe in electricity. I'm convinced it's all controlled by whatever powers that thing in 13. Not electricity though. I used to teach electrics. So this endorphin release can only really be doing good for your experience at a theme park. And not just walking to and from rides, which the Skyride does force you to do a lot of. On a ride, you can burn between 40 and 70 calories from just the experience of being on a ride. So Dr. Paul Tennant, I've not met him personally, but apparently he did say this, that a day at a theme park will do the same amount of good as going to the gym and working out intensively for an hour and a half. Again, it does explain this stereotypical theme park enthusiast physique. Walking from one side of Alton Towers to the other can take about half an hour if you're me. 15 minutes because I've got long spider legs. So in that time, you get more vitamin D, which is supposed to boost your mood, reduce depression. So overall, for your health, I'd say it's pretty good. So there you go, that's benefits for us. Now on to some exciting stuff. Operational advantages for Alton Towers. what good for Alton Towers could having fewer rides open actually mean operationally? So the absence of the Skyride means that crowd distribution is far more widely spread across the park. For example, you start off your day in X sector, then you want to go to Rita and 13, then you want to go to Nemesis in Forbidden Valley, then you want to come back to Rita and 13 in Gloomy Wood, Dark Forest. Fake fan. In the Rita and 13, in Ugland. Just walking between those attractions could take you up to an hour, or probably over an hour if you stop and stare at things, which a lot of us do.
The rock work.
How many of you guys have actually stopped to go and caress a rock at Alton Towers to see if the mould is real? My good friend James Smiles, this isn't a feature, he just says a lot of stuff. My good friend James Smiles said in one of his videos, and I think about this all the time, the rocks in the Oblivion queue line are not naturally orange. That mould there isn't naturally orange, it's like part of the theming.
Fun fact I learned from James Smiles, those rocks naturally go orange. How convenient.
Or did he say the opposite? Whichever one he said, I found out to not be true. But I'm sure that James Smiles fact checks a lot of his videos now. This is old dirt I'm bringing up on it. So yeah, he's noticed the rocks, and since then I give the rocks a little caress. And I think my husband said that means they're carcinogenic. No, forget it. I love rocks. I stroke the plants to see if they're real. We stop a lot to look at things, okay? So this could be a lot of time out of your day. And say if every visitor is spending potentially an hour to 2 hours just traveling and mooching around the park, eating aside, that's less time that they are in queues, taking up queue times. Yeah, I think that works operationally. Exploration of the park's sort of hidden nooks and things can make you get more out of your experience. If you're a regular visitor, you may not have spent a lot of time going in through the gardens at Alton Towers and seeing like real pieces of history. I'm a big believer in history. Ta-da! I would say that my eternity depends on my understanding of history. Things like Gloomy Wood / Dark Forest, whatever it is, that little witch thing that comes out and jumps at you, and things like that, it does add to your experience, and it makes you sort of appreciate the love that's gone into the park when you're not looking at like terrible things that you hate at Alton Towers. A lot of theme park enthusiasts are good at nitpicking things that they don't like, you know, paint chipping off of the medical centre. That's me, that's mine.
I'm not going to bring a baby into the world where paint's chipping off the medical centre in Alton Towers.
That screams sanitary and well looked after. If that's how they look after the building, how are they going to look after the people inside? I don't know. I'm actually joking, by the way. Every time I go there, they give me a plaster. It's really nice. The staff there are really nice. Again, this one's a good one for Alton Towers. It totally increases revenue opportunities to have to walk through the park instead of getting the Skyride. If you're really burning that many calories, you're gonna get a little hungry, aren't you? You're gonna get thirsty. You're gonna crave a grotty little Monster Energy. I know I do. And you're gonna, spend up to £5 on one. Which is why it would make sense that around 25 to 30% of theme parks make their revenue from food and drink. I don't know if that's true exactly for Alton Towers. This is just a theme park stat. And again, with sales, maybe if it's a rainy day and you're having to walk through it all and be in the rain the whole time, people might buy more ponchos, despite the mega inflation we've seen on those. I've been judging inflation rates on Alton Towers poncho prices. So operationally, good idea. So something that, again, you may not have thought about would be density stability of guests throughout the park. So you get this even before you come to the theme park. If you're walking from any of the alphabet car parks, A to K, whatever it is, hit B, C, D, E, F, G. If you're walking from any of the car parks at the back of the park where the monorail entrance is, and you're not getting the monorail because of the massive queues on it, you have to walk about 15 minutes to get to the front of the park just to even get in. That in itself is a very effective way of slowing down the foot traffic into Alton Towers. It does a very good job of not allowing the entrance to be hugely overcrowded, and the only time we really see that is when enthusiasts are all there at the start waiting for it to open. Here's a little sad fact about Lou. One time I got dropped off at 7 in the morning at Alton Towers. We left at 5 in the morning, and I slept on a bench at Scarefest. the bench in the entrance to, I thought, wait for it to open. And a friend that I made there took a photo of the entrance. He was also there at 7. And I was in that photo before we ever met. Crazy story. So this effect also carries through the whole park. Have you noticed? There's no swarm of people running to go to Nemesis after they see the queues drop rather in X Sector. It's a lot of effort, which means that the queue times are usually a little more stable, more predictable, which benefits both us as enthusiasts and us as park guests as well. I could call myself that. It benefits us and it benefits the park. A predictable traffic flow also helps like the food service. It helps them with stats for fast track sales as well. Another thought I've had as well is that if you're traveling on a Skyride, say you're just there for the big thrill rides, you may just want to skip Katanga Canyon entirely, especially if Congo River Rapids are closed. Then you might just want to skip the area. But if you're taking a meander without the Skyride, you're more likely to go on these rides, get a unique experience, go to the pizza pasta buffet, which I've heard is good. It just encourages discovery, which for me is part of the magic of a theme park.
Why there's no water?
Is it free to get?
No.
Again, I'm so sorry if you struggle to walk. This video is probably agonising to watch. I'm so sorry. Finally, I'm going to talk a little bit about my favourite bit, the psychology. I got kicked off my psychology course at college. I got asked to leave. That says a lot, I think. The journey walking to a ride starts to become part of the experience. The effort required to reach an attraction can actually enhance the perceived value of the attraction you're going to see. This is what psychologists, not like me, call effort justification. There you go, new phrase for you, effort justification. I'm going to use that in my vlog if I remember. I'm editing it now and I didn't remember, so I almost certainly will not remember in the vlog. I know I said finally, but there's an extra point, talking medically again. I'm no medical professional, guys. That is totally not my field. That is not my field whatsoever. I mean, look at me. I wouldn't say I was the peak of physical performance, but I do find this interesting because I can feel it as a guest, as an aging guest. The average visitor at Alton Towers probably spends about 30 to 90 minutes in each queue line for the larger roller coasters. The static standing is actually more physically taxing than walking. It causes blood to pool in your lower extremities, leading to increased fatigue and discomfort. Apparently, standing in one position for an extended period puts 40 to 60% more strain on your lower back and legs than walking for the same duration does. So, it's actually good to get up and stretch your legs. Again, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry if you need Skyride for accessibility. I'm so sorry. So yeah, circulation improves, you're engaging different muscle groups, you're allowing your body to like naturally shift in positions. And to be honest, when you're walking, you don't tend to go on your phone, do you? I don't know about you guys. I think it allows you to commune with your friends more. I was looking as if I have a friend, there's no one there.
With the friends.
And I think your experience, like actually just living in the now and living in the moment, I'm like cringing at myself as I say this, is what's going to lead you to having a better day at a theme park than being on your phone like complaining about, oh, they've not jet washed that brick in a few years. I've got a brick at Alton Towers. If what you're looking for is a good time at Alton Towers, obviously, I don't think the Skyride closing was the worst thing in the world. Having said that, I am very happy it's opening back up because there ain't no way I'm going to be burning 1,000 calories to try and have a good day out. That's not my idea of a nice day out. I want to be sat down on a ride, permanent cycle. Don't get me off the ride. Okay, I think I've said enough. I'm looking back now and thinking this is actually not a very interesting topic to probably other people, but this stuff fascinates me. And again, another disclaimer. Alton Towers probably didn't close the Skyride for this reason. I don't know why they closed it, really. I guess the refurbishment that they've had. Yeah, can't wait for it to open. This is just me having a little look, trying to be positive about things. And as much as I've enjoyed wandering through the gardens endlessly, getting lost, slipping down mud hills, it's been really nice. I have found a cat in the Alton Towers Gardens. There you go. If you like cats, then Alton Towers Gardens for you. And if you don't like cats, then I'm sorry for what I just showed you earlier. I love looking at the psychology of theme parks, guys. If you have any other topics you want me to cover, please let me know. And if you've enjoyed it, let me know in the comments as well. It does really encourage me. I do see you regular viewers. I scroll through my subscribers and I look at all of your channels. I know it's creepy. And I look through all of the commenters' channels as well because I'm like, I'm going to spot you at a park. No, I don't. That's not my goal. I just want to make the most of it while I'm still a small YouTuber before I get 1 million subscribers. It's nice to know all of you. What do you think? Has there been anything I've missed? Or do you think this was a stupid video? Okay,